on the data packs and the entire thing about net neutrality, where people will, the telecom operators will start charging people differently based on usage. I hope all that gets sorted out. Okay, right? Yeah. I'm a big fan of net neutrality and democratizing the internet and giving access to everybody. But I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah. Okay, one slightly different question. I think again, in the background of all that we have discussed, in the days to come, for instance, if you are evaluating businesses for investing, do you think there will be some connection between your decision to invest in a specific company and their level of deployment and their level of leveraging technologies?
No, absolutely.
Your preference would be for companies who are very...
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think more important than, not just that, Ibrahim, what happens is, unless technology is the core function, unless one of the core team members, co-founders is technology expert, you will not be able to pull off the business. Look at any business that has succeeded. Technology is an important ingredient, and there is a reason for it. Because businesses have been around for decades, and some of them have been around for centuries. Okay. Now, you and I, or any new entrepreneur, or any new startup, it's very difficult for them to come up and try to do better than what somebody has been doing for the last 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 60 years. The only way they can come and do is if they disrupt the status quo, for which technology, whether it's mobile, whether it's internet, or it's pure use of these devices, is extremely critical. Because let's take the example of Big Basket, the e-grocery company, or even Portia Medical, the home healthcare company. When we started Big Basket 3 years back, what we could have done, instead of getting into e-grocery, we could have said Nilgiris is doing this way, Spencer's is doing this way, Food World is doing this way, Reliance Retail is doing this way. Let's try and do better than that. Now, what is the chance that a new entrepreneur or a new entrant has got to do better than what people have been doing? They are not fools. They have been around for 100 years. They have created a brand over 100 years. There is no way you can try to do, you may do some things better, but that you will be able to, you see, it's almost like saying, if I were to start DataQuest or Voice and Data, will I be able to do, I can't do better. Okay, right? It's been around for 30 years?
32 years.
32 years. It's been around for 32 years, run by professionals. I can point faults. I can say I will do this better, but I can't do anything better. So the one and only way I can do it is if I disrupt, that is if I use technology. So Big Basket, we said, no retail formats, nothing, one warehouse, complete use of technology, tablet and this one. I will deliver, entire route is optimized using algorithms, using technology. I will deliver at home. I will cut the entire retail real estate cost completely. I will do that. Same thing in Portia Medical. We started 1.5 years back. We could have started, can I beat Workout or Fortis or Manipal Hospital? Manipal Hospital is 65 years old hospital, okay, right? I cannot do anything. I'm not even a doctor. Even if you're a doctor, I can't do. The only way is, can I use technology to be able to disrupt? So I think that becomes a basic fundamental requirement, not a good to have, without which you just can't do it. And today you see valuation of companies, success of companies, the poster boys of entrepreneurship, 100% all of them will have technology as a key important ingredient element, even for something as non-technical as getting you from a cab from driving from place A to place B, or something as technical, as non-technical as sending a nurse to give you an injection, or delivering eggs or bread.
Yeah. Okay. So in other words, what you are saying is that if the promoter is not a techie, then the person who's looking at the technology decisions there, who's driving technology, the CIOs and the CTOs, they can perhaps play the same kind of driving role for the growth of the organization.
Absolutely. Whether you are one of the co-founders or promoters, or you are part of the key team right from day one. I mean, and Tutor Vista is a great example. We are doing education, teaching US kids from India. I'm not a technologist. Like I said, I didn't know anything about internet at that time. Okay, I knew a little as a user, nothing with it. So our employee number 1, okay, right, was a CTO. We had given him good stake in the company. Okay, right? He was not the co-founder. There were 2 co-founders, 2 of us. but he was employee number one. He had, next to two of us co-founders, he had the maximum amount of stake. When we exited, he made the maximum amount of money, other than two of us. He was a CTO who had worked in McAfee.com in US. He had come back to India because he wanted to be in India. He was Indian, obviously. Okay, Ravi Kannan was his name. Came back India. I wouldn't have started the business if I didn't have him. And I wouldn't have been able to go and raise money if I didn't have him. Okay, because you're talking about education. I'm not educationist. The only way you can make a success of it is by disrupting, which is by using technology.
So one last question before we maybe take a few questions. What is that one last message that you will have for our guests here this evening so that they can really do big? One last message.
That's a tough question. I think technology, whether it's mobility, whether it's internet, which is technology has got the biggest opportunity in the next 25 years, right? And you're all sitting now where we are just scratching the surface, and with 25 years more to go. So adopt technology, think big, not just think big, think also long. Think what will happen 5 years later, what will happen 10 years later, what will happen 15 years later. That will tell you where you need to spend your time and focus on. And that is where maximum returns for your time will come in. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a manager, whether you are working in corporate, it doesn't matter. Okay, right? Adopt futuristic technology, be ahead
of the curve.
Ahead of the curve. You can do it because you're all fortunate to be in technology. I can't say this if you're a cook. Cook job is very important. We all have to eat, okay, right? So I'm not in any way denying that. But there is only so much that you can do, okay, right? But here you're fortunate to be already in that place. So stay ahead of the curve because disproportionate returns will come if you are ahead of the curve. You don't have to be ahead of the curve by a large distance. You can be ahead of the curve by a small distance. That is enough.
Okay, so I think stay ahead of the curve is the message from Ganesh this evening. So do we have time for a couple of questions from the audience, if there are any? Well, I think they are still sort of coming to grips with what you have said, and I think your present was very, very good. Thank you so much, Ganesh.
Thank you.
And it was really very nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a louder round of applause for Mr. Ganesh and Mr. Ibrahim for such an insightful and interesting session. I'm sure all of us have learned a lot of them. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I please request Mr. Prateek Pashine, President, Tata DoCoMo Business Services, to hand over the memento to Mr. Krishnan and Mr. Ahmed. Huge round of applause for him, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here, sir. It was indeed an honor.
Thank you, Prateek. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pashine, Mr. Krishnan, and Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you.
Please.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will request Mr. Ibrahim to conduct our first live poll.
So I think after all that has been said so far, I think right from the time when the presentations were made, the video presentations, and this very, very interesting discussion that we had with Ganesh, it would not be fair if we actually don't do what we have been talking about. And I think as one of the first things that we can do is use the technology that we talked about and show to all of you how social, how gadgets, which is basically mobility, can really change a lot of things. Earlier, for instance, opinion polls. Earlier, they used to take a long time. There used to be field guys going out, etc. But what has happened in the last 15-20 minutes since we have been here, I think our backend has already started conducting opinion polls or preparing for that. So what we will do is that we will have the first poll in this program this evening, and I hope all of you have got the applications downloaded on your mobile. We have tech support people also here who can show you how to download if you still haven't. But we will have the first poll, and the first poll is basically The question is that, are you using, so the first question is that, have all of you downloaded the application? Can you raise, whoever hasn't, can you raise your hand? Whoever hasn't. So can we have the tech support please help them in downloading the application? So the first question is that, are you using any of these solutions, social, mobility, or Internet of Things, in your business applications? Social media, mobile applications, Internet of Things, none of these. So you have to press a button on your mobiles to participate in this survey, this poll, and the results will come online immediately.
We have created a free Wi-Fi zone for all of you. You can just log on to the Wi-Fi zone and download the application. Ladies and gentlemen, please note it can be downloaded only on Android-based phones and iPhones, and not on Windows phones and BlackBerry.
So you can see the online poll which is happening, the results. So as I think Ganesh indicated, that mobile and mobile applications is something which is really of interest to a lot of the people present here, representing their organizations, and which is clearly showing in this poll. 36% of us here in this hall have used mobile applications in their organizations. Is the poll over? Okay, so this is the result. Any comments on this? Any reactions to this poll? Internet of Things, while I think many of us sometimes feel that Internet of Things is a little too early, we are talking about it a little too early in the day, but look at the result, and this result is based on the feedback that you have given. Internet of Things is fairly high. 33% of the people are in this hall here are actually deploying and considering and experimenting and actually using Internet of Things. So I think we are starting therefore on a very, very positive note. Thank you so much. You will see a couple of such polls happening in the evening today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can we have an applause for him, please? Moving on to the next session, may I please call upon stage Mr. Sai Pratyush for his session on SMI solutions for businesses to do big. Mr. Pratyush is the head product lifecycle managed services at Tata DoCoMo Business Services. He has over 18 years of experience in product development, of which 12 plus years have been in telecom. He has held key assignments across all the Tata Group's telecom ventures such as Tata DoCoMo, Tata Communications, TTML, TIEBU, and Tata Internet. Huge round of applause for Mr. Pratyush, please.
A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive the clock. I've been put on a clock to ensure that we don't waste even a minute of your time. Speaking of a minute, how important is a minute in today's life, in today's world? I'm going to do another poll, sorry, but this will not require you to go to your mobile applications. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. A very quick poll to kind of figure out how important is a minute in our lives today. How much can you get done in a minute? The question is very simple, and the answer is a little, a lot, quite a lot. So just the old-fashioned way, raise your hands if you believe the answer is a little. Just a few hands. What about a lot? Okay. Quite a lot? Okay, so it's a toss-up between a lot and quite a lot. Well, in the last 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, this is what has happened on the digital world, right? You've had close to 4 million search queries made. A lot of you might have made them in this room itself. You've got about 48,000 applications downloaded on the App Store, about 340,000 images shared over WhatsApp. So now a minute, you know, is quite a lot as far as we are concerned. Well, let's put things into perspective. Let's go back into time. 5 to 7 years ago, life was pretty much compartmentalized. you had specific tools to do specific tasks, and more importantly, you had allocated specific time to do those tasks. So clicking photographs would be over the weekend, or when you were traveling, listening to music, all of that, you had specific time allocated and you had specific tools to do those tasks. Today, life has changed a lot. The lines have blurred between personal and professional, and a camera and a music a music player have essentially become features on your mobile phone. What has also happened is that everybody has become a potential publisher. And another interesting fact, which is the time spent with each one of these devices has also increased. So if you were spending maybe 30 minutes clicking pictures in a month, today, in a day, you would be spending about 10 to 15 minutes simply because that device is accessible to you at all times, right? So social media has been around for some time. The mobile phone has been around for lots of years. Well, what has made a significant impact in all our lives, or as people call it, disruptive, is the combination of a mobile phone with social media. And that's changed all our lives. But we believe that this is just the beginning. What is going to impact us even more is what is called the Internet of Things. It's even hard to imagine what the combination of IoT along with social media, along with mobile telephony is going to do to our lives. But having said that, let's just spend a few minutes and talk about what these three technologies or areas, that is social media, mobile, and the Internet of Things, are doing for us in the enterprise. All of us deal with customers and employees, and we want to keep one step ahead of them at every given moment, right? So social media is an extremely effective tool which can help us understand what customers are thinking or employees are thinking, help us engage with them, help us, more importantly, take feedback and act on it. So this is applicable both for employees as well as customers. A lot of you who are part of the IT organizations of your respective companies might be a little wary about using a WhatsApp or any of the big social media platforms that are available. So at Tata DoCoMo, we are working on our own collaboration products, and hopefully in the next couple of months, we'll be in a position to offer the Zini product to you, which allows you to create a secure social collaboration within your enterprise. So that's as far as social media is concerned. The next is mobile telephony. All of you who deal or who have large mobile workforce to manage typically would be dealing with issues related to productivity. You want to know where your mobile workforce is at any given point of time. You want to allocate leads or service tickets on a real-time basis. Well, the answer is mobile applications, and a lot of companies across the country are deploying them successfully. So whether it's for direct sales, for indirect sales, for collections, for insurance, for verification of your AV/CV process, for market research. Today, mobile applications are being deployed in a plethora of applications very successfully, and we've also partnered with, we've also provided these solutions to numerous customers across the country. The next bit is really related to, So the next bit is related to anybody who's involved with the transport of people or goods, and you're typically going to be facing issues related to misuse of the vehicle, or you want to simply track the vehicle at any given point of time. At Tata DoCoMo, we've worked on a host of applications which we are in a position to provide you, right from BPO cab management to logistics to asset tracking to fleet management. A very interesting solution that we actually started off with was school bus tracking, security of children, ability of parents to be able to monitor their children on a real-time basis while they are at school or on the way to school. So the Internet of Things and machine-to-machine has really moved beyond location-based services. Today, you have the government of India talking about smart cities. 100 smart cities have been identified across the country, and numerous kinds of projects are being initiated. Then there's healthcare, which will benefit greatly by the wearables technology that is prevalent today, right from a Fitbit or you have the Nike Fuel Band to many Indian companies that are today getting into this space. You have companies that have saved billions of dollars by deploying IoT technologies just to simply at retail counters, and that allows them to know when the stock needs to be replenished. And then obviously there is security, right from your homes to more complex installations to public spaces as well. So the Internet of Things is something that we believe will make a significant impact in our lives, and we are working on deploying and building, developing solutions across these areas. We set up the IoT and the apps and the cloud practice at Tata Teleservices a couple of years back, and during this period, we've across the country, we've kind of tried to understand customer requirements. We've had some implementations which have been very successful, some that have not. And in this entire period, the one thing that we have gained is tremendous amount of experience, which we wanted to share with you. We call them the mantras of success, for success. If you're looking at deploying these solutions, we believe there are a few points that you might want to keep in mind, which will help you ensure that these are successful implementations. The first is, please look beyond a single vendor. Look at device vendor agnostic solutions. A lot of times what essentially happens is that you go to a vendor and you build your solution around that particular vendor. And when you want to scale or when you want to integrate with newer technologies or newer innovations that are happening, it becomes very difficult for you. So it's important to basically separate the device from the application if it's an IoT, especially if it's a IoT or a machine-to-machine related implementation, because then you're in a position to really keep up with innovation that is happening in the market and ensure that you're not really dependent on a single vendor for a success of your project. The second bit is SMI on the cloud. There is a lot of apprehension about pushing data, and especially when it comes to your enterprise related data on the cloud. I can assure you that it's a much better option to evaluate, because things are changing so fast in this space. To look, and we've had instances where customers have implemented solutions on-site, have had on-site implementations, and they've had to junk those investments simply because technology has changed, technology has moved on, and there's something that is newer and better available for them. The most important point, obviously, is quick implementation. You don't have to wait 6-7 months for any of your projects to really get off the ground. The third is look beyond existing demand, and I can't emphasize this enough, because we've had instances where customers have deployed solutions keeping in mind a specific vertical silo. So, if you're the IT head of your organization, a particular business lead comes to you, you look at his problem and you try and find a solution to his problem. Well, we are encouraging you to look beyond that particular problem, look at it from a horizontal perspective, because then you're future-proofing the solution. And tomorrow, when you have